So I said in my previous video about Aston Villa that I was considering doing one on Wolverhampton Wanderers as well, because they've had a historically terrible start to this season. They are the only side to not get a point so far in the Premier League at this stage of the season. After 4 matches, they've lost them all, and they've looked pretty poor at times as well, to be quite frank. It is looking pretty worrying for them, and it's not really a big surprise, to be honest with you. A lot of people were tipping them to be relegated this season, if it's not going to be the 3 that were promoted from the Championship this season. I think a lot of people were thinking Wolves were the most likely to drop down, and so far it is proving to be the case as well. Now, usually when this happens, this means that the manager is under pressure. Unai Emery at Aston Villa, he is under pressure at this early stage of the season, despite the incredible success that he has had at Villa Park so far, taking them from being relegation threatened just a couple seasons ago to being in the Champions League, and this season in the Europa League as well. It cannot be understated how well Emery has done. However, with Vitor Pereira, it is absolutely the opposite. The Wolves manager is up for a potential contract extension, which is absolutely bizarre. Now, I am not for 1 second suggesting that Pereira should be sacked. I think he should be given a chance this season. After all, he rescued them from relegation last campaign. Things were not working out under Gary O'Neill. Pereira came in, Pereira steadied the ship, and Wolves, especially later on in the campaign towards the end of the season, were doing really well. They had excellent form. That seems to have very much gone out of the window now, and it's not the fault of the manager. Anybody who has been following Wolves so far this season will know it's because of the transfer policy of the club. Now, of course, Wolves selling their best players is nothing new. They've done it for the last 3 seasons or so, and that has very much been contributing to them struggling in the Premier League as a result. Every club who's not a part of the Big Six in the Premier League, to an extent, has to sell their best players. Even Newcastle United, they had to sell Alexander Isak. He saw them as a stepping stone, and off you go, son. He's gone to Liverpool. Anybody outside of that top 6, they very much have to sell their best players to survive. The key, though, is that the likes of Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, clubs like that, they do a very effective job of replacing their best players. Wolves haven't done that. And the losses of Matheus Cunha and particularly Ryan Ait-Nouri as well to the Manchester clubs, they very much are being felt. The losses of those guys is really being felt right now, because in truth they haven't really replaced them. I mean, by Premier League standards, you look at their transfer dealings in the summer and it was really few and far between, with the exception of Jurgen Strand-Larsen, who has now signed on a permanent deal at Wolves. None of these players are Premier League proven. None of them. Ashton Williams is coming from Bristol City and from the Championship. Fer Lopez, he's coming from Celta Vigo. John Rice from Fluminense in Brazil. Wolf from RZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. And the other 2 guys as well, Jackson, I'm going to call them Jackson and Tolu because I'm going to struggle to say the last names otherwise. They're not Premier League proven either. They're coming from Italy and Belgium respectively, so there's no Premier League proven talent coming into Wolves. And yeah, again, historically that's not been such a big issue for them, but they've very much been skirting with the risk of relegation for some time now. So I'm not saying that their struggles right now are down to the manager. I don't think for any second now that the manager should be sacked, but offering him a contract extension when you've had the worst start to a Premier League season in your history, I don't think that's a great idea, to be honest, because let's be honest here, he could well be sacked by December. He could be sacked before Christmas. If this run doesn't halt, the manager has to go. And I'm not saying he should go, but he will go. Simple as that, because they're not going to get rid of the players. The board are not going to claim responsibility for this. On his head be it, and they will happily tear up his contract if he is not performing. So it seems like a really bizarre decision, because they're just going to end up paying out more. I don't know if this is meant to be some sort of symbolic gesture of, look, we trust you. We think you're going to do really well here. So here's a new 2-3 year contract extension or whatever they're going to offer him. I don't know if it's that, but the thing is, it's not going to work. I don't think that is not what's going to turn things around. There's no question that the guy is motivated and wants to, do well with the club. Why would he want to see them relegated? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Just like this contract extension. So I'm not saying he should be sacked, Pereira, but right now it's a bizarre decision to be considering giving him a contract extension. If he gets a few wins on the boards in the next few weeks, fair enough, I can understand it then, but this is not the time. It really isn't. It's a bizarre decision, really, to be honest. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Pereira, does he deserve a contract extension? Arguably does, but the timing is strange, very strange at Manu right now. Like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. Have a fantastic day. We're around the world today. See you very soon.